Hi guys, my name's Jake and welcome to Park Essence. Today we're going to be talking about Sick at Flamingo Land Resort in North Yorkshire. Now, if you do go on to enjoy this video, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like. That really helps me out. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Sick is a roller coaster at Flamingo Land Resort in North Yorkshire. It's been operating since July 2022. It reaches a top speed of 53 miles an hour, which is a height of 108.3 feet, and includes 10 inversions. It includes one vertical loop, one Cobra Roll, a double corkscrew, and five heartline rolls. Despite opening at Flamingo Land in 2022, the ride was initially planned to open at Hopi Hari, which is a theme park located in Brazil, but it was never built due to the park's ongoing financial issues. The ride then sat in storage until 2017, when it was relocated to Movie Animation Park Studios, where, due to financial issues, it sat in storage once again. Then in 2019, the roller coaster was bought by Gordon Gibb and relocated to Flamingo Land, where, following the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdowns of 2020 and 2021, it finally opened to the public on the 2nd of July. Now, straight out of the station, you're hit with a cable lift hill, which is exceptionally fast. You then head straight into the banked drop and into a vertical loop. From there, you go down into a pit underground before emerging into a Cobra Roll, then back into the pit. Usually these pits are full of mist, which is quite a cool experience and a very cool effect in my opinion. You're then hit by the double corkscrew, which is very forceful, very intense. It's one of my favourite sections, but we'll get onto that very shortly. You're then hit by a banked turn, 180 degrees, and then 4 heartline rolls in a row. Hold on, is my advice for this. You're then hit by another banked turn and another heartline roll into the station. Now, where do I start on Sick? Let's start with the theming. So, on entering the Sick shop, you walk through the queue line. You get some great views of Velocity, some really good views of Sick as well. There is a single rider queue, which is very good. There's also a separate accessibility queue, which is also very good. And you walk into the station. The station's kind of themed sort of nightclubish, I would say. There's loud music, lots of lights. It's very loud in there. It's all colourful. Outside the station, however, there is absolutely no theming on this ride. Now, don't get me wrong. It is well presented and it's nicely kept. It's been quite well maintained over the past couple of years. It's been open. But it's very barren. Other than the final bank at the end, where there's a lake to the left, that was completely man-made. It wasn't there before, and you occasionally get the fountain effect, but that's been hit and miss. There just isn't anything. Now then, the ride itself is a really good experience. It's intense from the get-go. The cable lift hill gives you a lot of momentum going into the drop, which makes it just provides some really good forces. When you curve at the bottom of that drop, you really get pushed down into your seat, and then to go straight into a vertical loop just provides some great. It's just really intense, yeah. The underground sections, again, when you're sort of cresting down there, it's oh. Now the next thing I'm going to touch on is the operations. Now, I feel sorry for the staff that work on Sick in a way, because they only get given one train. It's a very popular ride, so the queue line can often exceed an hour, if not 45 minutes an hour, on a regular basis. They only have one train at any time. The ride's only really designed to hold one train, which is unusual compared to the other coasters of this type. I ran a little experiment to myself once because I have no friends. I took my phone out and with a stopwatch, I timed the amount of time between each ride, between each train being sent out, and there was at least 5 minutes every single time. And you've got to think it holds 24 riders, and if you figure that out, the sort of throughput is a little bit bad. It's obviously nothing against the staff, you can't do anything about it, but it just seems like a big oversight on Flamingo Land's part, not designing it for a larger throughput. This ride also suffers a lot of downtime. There was at least 4 or 5 occasions where I visited the park last year and Sick wasn't open. It's had a lot of downtime for a coaster that's only been open for 2 years. Quite rough in a few sections. Certainly the final 5 heartline bowls are if you for a taller rider like myself, it's exceptionally uncomfortable. You do feel like you can be flung out of the train at most points during that section. It's just very rattly and a bit. It's complete head basher. I'm very glad that it has lap bars and not overhead restraints because I can imagine that would be even more painful. The rest of the ride's pretty smooth, but it is just the final five inversions that let it down, unfortunately. You get some good views on the coaster, however, because the trains are tiered, similarly to Oblivion and Alton Towers. So every car has a lower set of seats and a higher set of seats, which gives everyone the same views, which is good. Yeah, I think the fact that all the track was sat in storage for such a long time and exposed to different climates when it was in Brazil and then at Movie Park Animation Studios. I think it's been exposed to a lot of elements, especially in two different countries. You got to think this ride isn't new. It's undoubtedly had an effect on the profiling of the track, which might be the reason why the Heartland roads are so uncomfortable. But obviously, I don't know that. I'm not an engineer, so I'm just going based on what I think. Now then, would I recommend Sick? Yeah, you might not enjoy it. It's definitely a roller coaster. I think it's definitely worth doing if you're at the park. It's not my favorite roller coaster on site. I do prefer Kamali, but there'll be a separate review on that coming up very soon. From the moment you step into the queue line, from the moment you exit, get the shop at the end, it's just an experience. I think it's definitely worth doing. Yeah, yeah. What do you think of Sick? If you've ridden it, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, then leave a like and subscribe. My name's Jake. You've been watching Park Essence, and I'll see you later.